All right, you guys, we're back. So let's take a look at the press conference after game 4 ended in a draw in the match between Ding and Gukesh. Let's get right into it. Play button. Let's see what they have to say. I'll put the speed at 1.25 as well.
Welcome to the post-game press conference. I will ask the players a few questions, and then I will open up the floor to the press.
Here we go.
Microphone is on my left. You may line up now if you choose to. Please restrict your questions to just one initially, but you may go back to have follow-up questions afterwards.
Okay.
My first question is to the world champion. How did you feel coming into today after having a difficult game 3? What was the strategy playing today with the white pieces?
Well, since I have a rest day to recover from the tough lose, today I'm in a very good mood, and I choose this opening idea to try to surprise my opponents, and it worked well, not so bad, and but the advantage is very, very small, and neutralized my initiative. So the draw is it's a very balanced game, and
worked well. I mean, worked well. Worked well. Excuse me. What? The volume's pretty low. Oh, let me double check, but I think it's good. Oh wait, maybe the volume's too low. Okay, let me put this back. Is it too loud now? Let me see. How's it now? Let's see.
okay.
He mentioned he tried to surprise you. Were you surprised in this opening line?
Yeah, I mean, it was not a completely new line for me. I had seen it before somewhere, but
Is this too loud or it's good here? It's okay? It's better? Okay.
but it was a bit of a surprise, and I was playing over the board from very early on. But I think I reacted well enough, and yeah, at some point I felt like he had maybe some slight edge, but I quickly neutralized it, and then I was kind of pushing. But okay, it should never really be anything serious for either of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know what to make of Ding, because he seems like a very nice guy. You don't really think he's trying to troll or anything. But like, when he says it worked well, I don't know what that means. I mean, seriously, I don't know what it means when you say it worked well. Like, that did not work well. That did not work at all, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that comment is.
Were there any critical moments in the game that you were looking at? Anything sharper, maybe anything risky? Or did it just seem like it was just a solid game and he played very well?
Well, after 95, if I play f4, I think it's not so accurate, since after a4 he can counterplay with a5, and if I take, he can knight c5 and then take back the pawn.
Okay.
Or maybe here f4 deserves some attention.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys are right. It works well if you want a stress-free draw, but I mean, but then what are you playing for? What are you playing for? I'm being honest. Like, what are you playing for? Like, jokes aside, like, I mean, if you're not in a world championship match, the goal is to be very solid as you can be with black, and you try to win with white. That's always the strategy. And even in this match, he lost game 3. He was in trouble in game 1, down an hour early. Like, obviously he outplayed Gukesh in the middle game, but the fact is, at the end of the day, like, he's been outprepared massively in both games with the black pieces. And I mean, like, if he has any hope of, I mean, being competitive, let alone not getting destroyed, he's gonna have to do something with white. He's gonna have to do something with white. Wait, what happened?
Oh,
there we go. Okay.
On your mind, but you decided to.
Yes, also here f4 is quite interesting, but maybe
No, I mean, I don't think people are overreacting at all, because this is a much different match.
I cannot take, due to take, and c5, bishop d3 is coming. So it's mainly about f4. If I want to pressure, I have to play f4 at some point.
But he didn't see bishop a6. He didn't see bishop a6 f4.
f4 is just
He didn't see bishop a6 f4. He didn't see it at all.
Did you see this idea of f4, as he pointed out? Was this the line you were prepared with knight c4?
yeah, I mean, f4 was one of the ideas that I'd always had to consider. But here, I think after knight c4, I'm just at least slightly better. So yeah, I mean, f4 I considered, but I thought it involved some risk for white, and yeah, he was not ready to take that risk, I think.
And by the way,
today.
this is another perfect example of the difference between looking at it with a computer versus the reality. See, a 3500 computer will see bishop a6 f4, but neither player saw the idea of bishop a6 rook c7 and f4. They both assumed after there was always going to be a knight c4 trick, and black is completely fine. And this is why it's so incredibly dangerous to literally look only with the evaluation bar, because it makes the game look different than it is in reality for the humans. That's why it's so dangerous when you only trust the eval bar. That's why I said like bishop a6 f4 is very difficult. Worst question incoming. Okay, let's listen.
Usually in these kind of matches, a draw with black is a great result. Is that your feeling?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a solid game with black, and I was even towards the end, I was maybe had some chances to press better. So with black, I mean, this is all you can expect in a match.
Mm-hmm.
You had, again, the white pieces. You wanted to have something, but not getting anything out of it. Is there any feeling of disappointment, or you feel like it's a world championship match, draws happen?
Well, when I saw this position, because I chose a somehow a little bit risky plan to play like this and not to play the usual d4. So actually, I'm not sure the evolution after that. And he surprised me with the knight e5 low in f4.
Yeah, knight e5 was an unusual
And
move.
here,
Yeah,
yes, I thought maybe it's time to settle for the draw, and I didn't see the way to first. Maybe the computer point out some great ideas with bishop a6 first, but I didn't see it.
So I guess my question is, again, with the white pieces, usually you want to get a little bit more action. Didn't get it today. Is it no big deal? There's still 10 games left.
Yeah, today with this line, I tried to play it safe, and it turns out I get a little bit advantage. And
what?
but the
I mean, what planet is he on? I mean, trying to be safe. Like with white. I mean, you're getting blown away in preparation every game with black, and you want to play it safe with white. No, I mean, like, it's just that's just crazy. I mean, if he had drawn 2 games with black or something, let's say the match was 4 draws and he had 2 easy smooth draws with black, I mean, I wouldn't really be critical of this at all. But like, he's been completely out prepared. He's been down an hour on the clock, I think, in both of his black games, trying to be safe with white. I mean, I think it's a very big gamble. I think it's a huge gamble to try. I mean, huge gamble in my opinion, thinking that he's going to be able like to magically just get equal positions and not be in danger with the black pieces. I just don't. I don't know. To me, it's just like it's crazy. This is crazy talk.
score is still balanced, so there are more games to come.
All right, we'll take the first question from the press. And you may line up.
No, but you guys are wrong. Gukesh does not look shaky with white. When you say Gukesh looks shaky with white, you're wrong. I mean, you're actually completely wrong there. Because if you look at game 1, yes, Gukesh didn't play it correctly, but Gukesh was up an hour on the clock and better. He played a couple of incorrect moves and then didn't completely pounce. But game 3 also, he was completely out prepared, down a bunch of time early, and time caught up with him in that game. So my assessment is the exact opposite. Like you can look at the result, one win, one loss, and be like, okay, Gukesh is shaky with white. But honestly, I don't agree with that take. I think that at the end of the day, Gukesh he's completely out prepared him, and I don't really see that trend changing, frankly. I don't see that trend changing. But that's why tomorrow's gonna be a critical game, because now Gukesh has played d4 and e4. So Gukesh has played both of openings, so Ding has some general idea of like at least a basic idea. So it'll be a very critical moment. Very critical moment tomorrow to see. If Gukesh gets an advantage, regardless of whether he wins or it's a draw, if he gets an advantage and it's similar to the first 2 games where Gukesh is white, where Ding is down a bunch of time on the clock early in the game, I mean, I think it's going to be a sign of the rest of the match. I really do.
Here for the next question.
The media, and this is for Ding and Liren. So Ding, you had never played this setup in the past. At least I didn't notice any games with this setup for you. And it seems like you're hitting a brick wall against Gukesh with the white pieces. So following up on Maurice's question, will we be expecting this type of unconventional openings in the future, or will you be playing more mainline variations in the coming games? Without going into too much detail, I understand.
I mean, I don't understand the question. Why didn't the guy literally, this guy's an IM, why didn't he literally ask about like Richard Rapport playing this? Because Richie's played this. Like I literally prepared for this in 2022 when I played against Rapport in the FIDE Grand Prix. Like he should have asked him about like about. I mean, it's not about what Ding played, but Richie flat out played this in 2022 or 2021.
Of course, I prepared a lot, and yeah, this line is new to me, but with reversed color, it reminds me of some kinds of Prince Indian.
What?
E6, B6, knight F6, and I have very good memories in Prince Indian. So you can.
Is the volume low? I think the volume's fine. I can turn it up a little
bit. I play
bit.
white pieces like black, but with the tempo up.
No, what? I've got to be honest. I think he's trolling. He's got to be trolling. I mean, he's got to be trolling. This is bizarre actually to hear. This is really bizarre. Like it's really bizarre. He's got to be trolling. I mean, he's acting like this is something new. As I said before. I mean, I literally said this before. Like this Bishop A3. Like I looked at it in 2022 when I played Richie. I played it online a billion times too. Like this is not some like special new thing at all. It's not even mildly mildly interesting. Like everybody knows it. Everybody knows about Bishop A3. He must be trolling. That's all I can think about.
Next question.
Bidya from ChessBase India. My question is to Gukesh. Magnus came to his 2013 match with a chef, and food plays a very important role in such a long tournament. How comfortable are you with the food here? And
we have some arrangements that ensures that I have some food that I like and have some healthy food, and I'm quite happy with what I'm eating every day, and I feel good physically and mentally. So yeah, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Klein with chess.com. I know a lot didn't happen in the game today, so Gukesh, I'm going to take this opportunity to ask.
Now it's too soft again. What the heck?
Said many times that he believes a bit in numerology. He was born on the 13th of April, and he was the 13th world champion. And I couldn't help but notice you're trying to become the 18th world champion, and you're 18 years old. So if Kasparov believes in numerology, I'm just wondering if you've made this connection and if it means anything to you. I know you're just attempting to be the world champion.
I guess I should say I kind of believe more in Fischer's court. I believe in good moves. So yeah. I'm just trying to make good moves. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, Theo from leadchess.org. The other day we had Levon Aronian on our live commentary, and we were talking about time management strategies. I noticed today that the time management of both players was far more even than it has been in previous games. I'd like to ask both players if you have a time management strategy, or like Levon, you just see what the position is like on the board and then decide how to use your time.
You first?
I think it depends on positions. Because the day before yesterday, my position very dangerous after Rook G1, HG. So I had to come up with ideas to not to be much worse. I need to find the critical move in this position. So I had to spend a lot of time.
You can't hear me?
I think
you guys can hear me, right? I don't know. Maybe not.
Not so much happens.
I mean, I can turn the volume down a little bit.
I can play a little bit quickly.
Yeah, I think mostly the time management depends on how the position is. I mean, some positions you need to spend more time, some positions not so much. And today, the position was mostly quite simple with not a lot of sharp stuff happening. So I guess that explains it. But yeah, the previous games there were some very sharp things happening. So yeah.
Okay.
Both players. Do you do
what
something to maintain your poker face?
What is with the mic, you guys? Jeez.
I know it's a bit of a random question, but when you see your opponent making a mistake and you know it's a mistake and now you have the advantage, but you do not want to show any signs of body language that you know the opponent has made a mistake. So do you just look at yourself in the mirror and maintain a poker face?
I don't even understand the question either.
Well, since I cannot see my reaction during the game, since I'm the one who is playing, so I don't know if I'm able to maintain this kind of poker face if my opponent made some mistakes. I think I will maybe show some inspirations when I saw some mistakes from my opponent.
Yeah, in general, I think I'm not a very expressive player. Like on the board, I mean, I do show some emotions from time to time, but in general, I'm more of a person who always maintains a poker face. So, yeah, I mean, if there is some important moment where I have to maintain some poker face, mostly I remember some instances where it was important and I managed to trick my opponent with the poker face. But in general, I don't really think too much about it. Yeah.
Asking again on behalf of FIDE social media, but this time from someone who wishes to remain anonymous, and it's for you both. What do you think are your opponent's strengths and weaknesses?
Maybe it's too early to answer this question.
Impossible question.
I mean, I think we both are pretty well rounded. At the top, you need to be quite universal these days. So, I mean, there are some minute details, I guess, which I guess I'll try my best to show on the board.
I'm from the organization. I have questions for Ding Liren and for both. First of all, 请丁立人谈一下今天的对局。
So I'm translating.
They got a translator.
Mr. Ding Liren and Mr. Gukesh. The first question was to Mr. Ding Liren. Oh, okay. 我有两个问题 so this is in Chinese. So 我有问题想问那个丁连先生和
Wait a second. I'm confused. I'm confused. Why is he why is he saying it in Chinese? Wait, is he translating Chinese to Chinese? Wait, what? No, by the way, he's a grandmaster. I know he's from Australia, but I'm a little. Is he supposed to be translating the Chinese question in English, not Chinese in Chinese? Wait, I'm really confused.
顾开始先生，我先问丁连第一个问题。
第一个问题就是，请丁立人谈一下今天的对局，用中文就行。
这盘棋，表面上看起来是一盘波澜不惊的和棋，但实际上中间应该还是有点内容的。然后，比如说就什么时候走 F4，是否要走 F4，这个在一些关键的局面中，然后我后来还是，屈从了内心的软弱，选择了一个比较稳妥的下法，推了马 F3，然后在这之后，这盘局面也就导向了和棋吧。
So the question was to Ding Liren first, if you could describe the course of the game in Chinese. And Mr. Ding Liren replied that he had maybe some chances for some slight initiative with F4, so there were some subtleties in details in this position. But eventually it headed towards sort of calmer territory and the game sort of fizzled out towards a draw towards the end.
第二个问题就是想问一下两位棋手，如果可以在任何一个时代和任何一位伟大的棋手对局的话，你们会选择是哪位棋手？谢谢。
So the second question is to both players. If you had like a time capsule and you could travel back and play any player anytime, which player would you
Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer.
I think Fischer.
Obviously.
I mean, he's someone I really admire, and I think, yeah, it would be cool to play a game.
Yeah, everyone says Fischer to this question.
应该是回到古代吧，就和一个已经去世的世界冠军。我想到可能是塔尔吧，他有着别具一格的风格。
I'd like to travel into the past, someone who's already no longer with us. So I think my pick would be Mikhail Tal to play some games with.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, like he says Tal, yeah, I mean, but almost everybody says Fischer. Like I know like Fabiano, Levon, myself. They asked people, the candidates, I think in 2016, this exact question, who do you want to play? And I think like 90% of people said Fischer. 90% said Fischer. Tal is an interesting choice though. Interesting. No, it's not because Fischer's an American. It's because Fischer is the first grandmaster who would be competitive with the players of today. That's the reason. He's the first grandmaster who, like, if you look at past world champions, he could be competitive with the players of today. And it's very mysterious. Like, you hear all these stories about Blitz. His rating was like 2790. Like, he's the first world champion or grandmaster who was on that level, who probably could play and maybe even beat some of us today. And then of course Karpov obviously could, Gary could, but he's the first one who is at that level. He's the first one.
Thank you. Next question.
Troll Scat from Danish Chess Magazine. I would like to ask a question to both players. What was the most fun non-chess activity that you did yesterday on your free day?
I mean, I played some sports and I rested a bit. So, yeah, nothing too much fun, but some relaxing activities.
Well, I go for a walk in the morning, and then in the evening I go out to have some dinner.
Keeping in mind that a lot of amateur
I love this, dude. I love that silence. He's like, I love that silence there. It's just so deafening, that silence. Now the mic is back to being scuffed, of course.
chess players are watching, I think one of the things they're most impressed with is your ability to memorize and remember games from the past. And it was pointed out by Jan Timon on Twitter that this idea of b3, bishop a3 in the first 5 moves was played by Petrosian against Mikhail Tal at the Curacao candidates in 1962. To a lot of amateurs, they may never have seen b3, bishop a3 in the first 5 moves. I'm just curious, are your memories good enough to remember this game, especially Ding, because you played it? So
I didn't even know about this game.
Came up in your preparation at all?
No, I think the idea was proved by modern engines rather than old games.
Gukesh, this random game in your memory.
You know what I will say though? I am mildly annoyed. Like when Mike says that, he could have simply mentioned what I said. Like, I mean, he could have mentioned what I said about Richard Rapport. Like, I find it very weird that nobody's talking about the fact that Richard played this bishop a3 idea, or that Richard's his second. To me, that's just like bad reporting. That no one's mentioning. I mean, it's not maybe not even about me, but it's like the fact that no one's mentioning that this is an idea that Richard has played. It's or Richard, I guess technically is how you pronounce it. I'm just surprised that no one has actually brought that up.
You bank at all?
Okay, I was not aware of this game, but it's not something that is completely new to me. I've seen this kind of ideas before, but yeah, nice to know that like a historical game has had
bad reporting. Yes,
yeah, not the exact same pawn structure, but bishop a3 in the first 5 moves. But anyway, thanks for your answer.
Okay.
Yeah, just another quick question based on something Levon again said the other day. He said that Gukesh's play reminded him of a young Fabiano Caruana. So I'll just be interested to hear both players' opinions on, if they believe that's an accurate statement, or perhaps there's another player that the style reminds them of.
I think
I don't agree with this. By the way, I actually don't agree with this. What I would say about Fabiano is Fabiano. I don't think there was anything mysterious about his play. Fabiano was an opening maniac, someone who's like really I mean, I would say even when he was like 2750, he had great opening preparations. So I mean, I would say Gukesh has good opening prep, but I don't look at Gukesh purely as a player who's like, I mean, I don't want to say purely prep because of course we're going to get back to this stupid nonsensical discussion about Fabiano and openings, but like he doesn't really remind me of Fabiano in that way. Like I feel like his intuition, maybe it's not about intuition, but it's like his pure calculation and his general understanding just seems so high in a way, whereas Fabiano I feel like was much more like pure memorization, at least early on, I would say.
I mean, we are a bit different, but I can see both both me and Fabi, we are like we also had similar styles when we were like younger, and also still as styles is mostly like sharp and fighting, so I can
big shout out to Maria, by the way. She says I'm going to bring Hikaru stream to the press conference tomorrow. It's so much better this way. Well, I'm just shocked. I mean, like I mean literally, why is nobody talking about the game today and whether it was an idea from Richard? Like, that's what I don't get. It's like, I mean, are these people oblivious to it? Because I told you, I looked at this bishop a3 idea in 2022 before I played Richard in the second game of the Grand Prix.
That, but honestly, I cannot think of many players who style like resembles me. So
I agree with Gukesh. He's right.
Is one of the candidates, I think.
Yeah, another question to Gukesh. What was
it for both players or just him? I thought he said both. Do you think that his style resembles Fabiano Caruana's style? Your opponent's style resembles Caruana's style?
Yeah, Fabiano Caruana, he calculates a lot during every course of the game, and yeah, they also have very good opening preparations. And but before I didn't make the comparison between them.
Next question.
I don't know. To me,
what was your idea?
I mean, to me, I'm just going to be honest. Like, I find the comparison a little bit weird. I mean, maybe it's just because Levon didn't really play against Fabiano that much, or like I played Fabiano a bit more before he broke into like the absolute elite. But to me, it's a slightly weird comparison. I mean, Like Fabiano is obviously a great calculator, but I really think of Fabiano as being the gold standard for opening preparation. The increase of volume of the video, for those of you guys who are wondering, the sound is just scuffed. It's literally going up and down because their microphone is bad. This is not on my end. It's been this way the whole time since I've been watching the press conference.
When you played the move knight to e5, and what were your ideas if the opponent had played f4 in that move?
Yeah, knight e5, I was basically trying to kick his knight with some b6 c5 at some point. And it just felt like a good move, like I mean, knight placing on the center, and then f4. I thought in general it's a bit weakening because if I manage to exchange his d4 knight, then he can never play d4, and it's yeah, f4 just looked like a move which would turn out to be like risky in the long run. So it was, maybe I would have gone like knight g6, knight e7 or something, but yeah. It was mostly based on the fact that after f4 he can never play d4. So, yeah.
And this, by the way, this is probably a very important distinction, which is, you know what this is? This reminds me of the difference in generations and how things slowly change over time. This is very deep and very nuanced. But if you heard what Ding said, Ding was surprised by knight e5, and he thought that there was an f4 somewhere. What Ding said is pretty similar to what I was saying. How, to me, I thought knight e5 was an unusual move, and I didn't think it was a good move because I also thought there was some f4 to kick the knight. And then you hear Gukesh basically saying that he's thinking about a long-term positional structure. And I actually would wager to bet that for most top players who are like around my age, give or take a few years, I would say most of them, their first instinct would be that knight e5 is probably a bad move. Most of them would say that knight e5 is not a move they would think is good. They would probably think it's like there's something wrong with that move. Like even Fabiano would probably say the same thing. But it's interesting, you hear what Gukesh says, how like it felt right, it made sense because white can never go d4 later. So the whole thought process is very different. It's very different.
For Gukesh, from a social media follower, va_Ronson, but it's something a lot of people want to know, is how is it that you articulate all your responses so well at your young age?
Like, I guess even though I'm still young, I mean, I have been doing interviews since, like, since I was even younger. So, maybe I'm still not great at it, but much better at it than I was before. So, yeah.
Let's make this the last question.
Thomas Lochte, Schachmagazin 64, Chess Magazine 64 from Germany, Otto Borick. About the final position. You could even do the move King e5 instead of King e3. It's a draw, but was it an attitude of politeness not to try to have a pawn up or something?
If King e5 will lead
Rook d2
game, I'll definitely go for it. But I saw after Rook d2,
Rook d2,
Rook d3, I need to go King e4 again, and then after Rook d4,
it's drawn anyway. But I was asking about an attitude of politeness not to try it.
Yeah, just try for 2 more moves maybe.
Ugh. I mean, like the simple answer is not about being polite. It's the fact that when Ding played knight f3, he was already happy to make a draw, and there was nothing that was going to change the game. When he went knight f3, it was going to be a draw. When he went knight c3, it was going to be a draw. It was going to be a draw no matter what. It wasn't about politeness or anything like that. It was like, it's going to be a draw. Why do we want to waste any more of our time? That's what it's about.
That concludes today's press conference. Tomorrow will be Game 5 at 5 p.m. local time. Everyone, have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, that was what shall we say? Pretty dry for sure. Yeah, definitely not great. But anyway, you guys, that is the press conference from after game number 4 being played in the 2024 World Chess Championships. So I hope you guys enjoyed this press conference. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you smash that subscribe button below, and we'll be back with more great content in the very near future. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you. Bye.